Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Football season is here. It's a game week. We're 5 days away from kicking off the 2024 football season against Chattanooga inside of Neyland Stadium. Tennessee favored by almost 40 points. The ESPN FPI has Tennessee at a 99% chance to go win this game. It's a glorified scrimmage coming up on Saturday, but guess what? It's football time in Tennessee. We get to see this football team go out and hit a team wearing a different color uniform, and that excites me. I know you guys are fired up and ready to go as well. But what do you want to see on Saturday? I kind of asked this at the end of the live stream this morning. Eric Kane, VolQuest.com, was in the house. The morning shows were back. If you missed it, go check that out. But I kind of asked this at the end of the stream. What do you want to see on Saturday? What do you want to see from this Tennessee football team? And some people said, I want to see dominant defense. I want to see a shutout. Of course, the obvious answer, the coach speak answer is, we got to stay healthy. We got to – I get that. I want to see this team go out and be dominant. I want to see the offense be explosive. I don't want excuses. I don't want to come out of that game talking about how, well, we didn't score a lot of points because we were vanilla. We didn't show our hand. I don't care. It's Tennessee versus Chattanooga. You should be able to line up and run it down their throat every single play. But I want to see explosive plays. I want to see Nico take shots down the field. Take the top off. Let's go out and let's score. Let's dominate. Let's show people what this football team is going to look like in 2024, because I feel like we were on cruise control a year ago. 2023, we were just waiting. We were just waiting until Nico took over and we started to move forward with this thing. And, you know, a lot of times we as fans talk about how national media doesn't put enough respect on our name. They're not talking enough about us. They don't like us. And, you know, they don't. A lot of the national media don't like us. But guess what? They can't deny us. Now, they have to be talking about James Pierce. They have to be talking about Nico Iamaleava. They have to be talking about a possible SEC championship appearance, a possible college football playoff appearance. And, you know, we've not really been relevant in a long time. You talk about 9-win seasons. You got to go back to 2015, 2016. Butch Jones won back-to-back 9-win seasons. Other than that, it didn't happen. Lane Kiffin didn't do it. Derek Dooley didn't do it. Jeremy Pruitt was a circus act. Jeremy Pruitt went 16-19 in his 3 years here, and most of those wins were vacated. Just a joke, a clown show. Enter Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel has made 9-win seasons seem like a disappointment. Josh Heupel made a 9-win season a year ago feel like it wasn't good enough, and we were ready to move forward to 2024. But now the national media is talking about us. I'm going to go take a listen to some clips from Unnecessary Roughness, college football podcast over at Barstool Sports. They have to talk about Tennessee, and when they do, they get upset because they don't like us. We're going to get into it. We're going to break it down, but as always, I need you guys to do me that YouTube stuff real quick. Smash the thumbs up just below the video. It's quick. It's free. It's easy. And it helps the channel. We're trying to grow this thing. It's a community of Tennessee football fans. We're not experts or insiders or media. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We're full steam ahead. It is football time in Tennessee. The morning shows are back. Me and Kaner did about an hour-and-a-half show this morning. Tuesday nights, we're still playing EA Sports College Football. You guys get to come on the show and go head-to-head with me. Wednesday night is Talkin VAWLS Live. Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, me and Coach Jay going to do a morning show. Saturday's an hour before kickoff. It's a fan call-in. We do live post-game shows. We do fan call-in shows every Sunday night. This is the place to be if you're a Tennessee fan. Let's continue to grow this audience. If you know somebody that likes Tennessee, but they don't know about Talkin VAWLS, hit them up and let them know. Let's continue to grow this thing. But let's go take a listen. Again, this is Unnecessary Roughness, college football podcast over at Barstool Sports. And they were talking about the SEC championship game. And this guy had already penciled in Georgia. Who's going to be playing Georgia in that SEC championship? He mentioned Texas, and he talked about how he thought Steve Sarkisian was going to get out-coached. I agree. If you guys remember, I went on Locked On Vols with Kaner during the offseason. We ranked the SEC coaches. I think Steve Sarkisian is overrated. I do. And I know, call me crazy, right? College football playoff run. And then he talks about Alabama, and you're talking about DeBoer. And he says he's going to get eaten alive by Alabama fans. The pressure is too much. He said you got to be a criminal to coach in the SEC, and DeBoer is too kind. He's too nice. He talked about Ole Miss. Missouri said he just couldn't do it. So who is he putting in the SEC championship game against Georgia? That's right. It's the Vols. Let's take a listen.
And 2 years ago, we saw what Josh Heupel could do when he had an elite quarterback. And there's no offense in the country, there's no team in the country that thrives off having a great quarterback more than Tennessee. And if Nico, and I'm not going to say if, because I'm picking him to play for the SEC championship. When Nico is good this year, They can return to what they were 2 years ago.
That sounds familiar. That sounds familiar, guys. How important is the quarterback in Josh Heupel's offense, right? We look back at 2023. People were blaming it on Alex Golesh leaving. People were blaming it on Joe Milton. People were blaming it on the wide receivers. It just wasn't the same. The offense looked different. Why was that? Well, I think it was because of Joe Milton. I think the offense was dumbed down for Joe Milton. I think the offense was schemed for Joe Milton, and he couldn't handle as much as Hendon Hooker could. When you look at his numbers on paper, not that bad. Almost 65% completion percentage, almost 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. But he didn't go win you any games. And some people could argue, well, he didn't lose you anything. Yeah, he didn't win anything either. He was just there. We were just on cruise control throughout the entire 2023 season. 31.8 points per game, the lowest ever by Josh Heupel as a head coach. Why? Quarterback. Throw a dart at the dartboard. The reality is the reality. Nico is going to show you what this offense is supposed to look like. And I like that he's not saying if, he's saying when. He's saying when Nico shows the world what he can do with this offense. Let's hear more.
For most of the season, they were the best team in the country. They were. And it was ridiculous, and they were over the top, and they acted like they were saving college football, and Wes Rucker was saying Tennessee's college football is just better when Tennessee's good. All that's bullshit. That's stupid. Y'all are being stupid. You got a dumb fan base.
Oh, he hates it. He hates to have to sit here and say that Tennessee's going to be in the SEC championship. He hates to have to sit here and give credit to this football team. And Tennessee, when they are playing good football, when Tennessee's back, it is good for college football. And you know it. Best fan base in the freaking country. Travel all over this country to see this football team. They know it. Everybody knows it, but they hate to have to admit it. They hate it. He says 2 years ago, Tennessee was the best team in the country for quite a while. Could be even better with Nico. I think Nico's going to run this offense better than Hendon Hooker. There, I said it. I believe it. Why? Told you guys why. All throughout the offseason. Now he's got to go out and prove it on the field. But the national media hates that they have to give Tennessee respect now. SEC championship appearance, college football playoff appearance. Man, they can't stand it. I like what he has to say, though. Let's hear more.
However, they were one of the best teams in the country because they had Hendon Hooker running things and getting the ball in the right spot. If Nico does that with Squirrel White and all these good receivers behind a veteran offensive line, the running back will come. They've got one of the best defensive lines in the country, James Pierce. They have elite players on defense. Now, the back end is a problem. We're going to have to fix it. But how do you help out the back end of a defense who's new and inexperienced? You give them an elite defensive line, which is what they got. They got maybe one of the best defensive lines in the SEC.
If you missed the live stream this morning, I was listening to Tim Banks' press conference, and they were talking about the secondary. And Austin Price asked him if you could, or maybe it was Kaner asked him if you could do some things differently on that back end because your defensive line is so different. Could you do things differently on the back end schematically? And he grinned because he knows how much of an advantage that defensive line gives him at the second level, at the third level. He's got all kinds of toys in the toy box, and he is ready to go out there. And Tim Banks, by the way, his defense has gotten better year in and year out. And while people were sitting here hating on him a year ago, Tim Banks is a solid defensive coordinator. 2021 gave up almost 30 points per game. That was 90th in the country, but you got to look at the facts. You got to look at what Tim Banks, look at the cards that he was dealt, the mass exodus of players, the lack of depth. As they start to rebuild that, the defense gets better. In 2022, 22.8 points per game. That was 36 in the country. That's when you had the number one scoring offense. How much better does that defense need to be to kind of close that gap, right? And I love that Josh Heupel says we're going to play elite defense. We don't want to just be efficient. We don't want to be 36. We want to play elite defense at Tennessee. A year ago, 20.3 points per game. That was 23rd in the country. That was a top 25 defense a year ago, but they didn't have the offense to pair with it. And now I think they've got the offense, and I think this could be a team that's led by the defense. As good as I think Nico is, as good as I think this offense is going to be, I think this team could be led by James Pierce on the defensive side of the ball. Let's hear a little bit more.
Schedule, it's that Oklahoma game. If they win, they open against Chattanooga, NC State. NC State's tough too. I'm not going to just gloss over them. They're tough. But let's say they win that game. They're 3-0 after Kent State. They go to Oklahoma. They win in Norman. They're 4-0 heading into a bye. And when they come back, they got Arkansas, they got Florida, they got Alabama. Florida and Alabama are both at home. If you got 6-0 Tennessee with Alabama coming in, it's a replay of 2 years ago. It is.
It sounds so familiar. Maybe I like this clip for a reason, because I sat right here as we went game by game and had to make predictions. If you beat Oklahoma on the road, and you roll into that Florida game and you're 5-0, guess what? You're going to be 6-0. You're not losing to Florida if you're 5-0. And then Alabama comes to town, and he says it's going to be a repeat of 2022. I don't think it's going to be that close. Tennessee is going to beat Alabama in Neyland Stadium if they are undefeated through the first half of the season. That's what's going to happen. Write it down, book it, take a picture. I don't care. That's what's going to happen. Like what this guy has to say. Sounds pretty intelligent. Let's hear more.
A replay, and now all of a sudden they're in the top 5 and they're rolling. They got Kentucky, they got Mississippi State, they got UTEP, they got Vanderbilt. This is not a tough schedule. It's all about that Oklahoma game, and if they win that Oklahoma game, they're going to win that Oklahoma game, and they're going to play for a conference championship. Everybody else who's a favorite up there going to have a little bit of a problem. Tennessee has a great coach, a great quarterback, and they will play Georgia and lose for the SEC championship.
I love it, man. I love it, but it pains him. Let's see how he wraps this thing up.
I thought you were going with Ole Miss. That's why I thought you said it was going to be a bomb.
I don't like picking Tennessee either. I hate Tennessee.
I know. No.
He hates Tennessee. I don't want to pick Tennessee, but Tennessee's back, and Tennessee's for real, and Tennessee's good. That's why he's got him playing Georgia in the SEC championship. That's why he's got him in the college football playoff. They can't deny it. They hate us, but they can't deny us because Tennessee is back. It's football time in Tennessee. We're 5 days away from kicking this thing off. Jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on that video. Do you think Tennessee has a shot for an SEC championship? Do you think they have a shot for a national championship? How much better is it now that we got a quarterback that's confident? Throw another dart at the dartboard. That's going to do it for this one. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. You like what you see here? You like the content, the videos, the live streams? Think about hitting that join button, and you could become a member of the channel for just $1 a month. It keeps the lights on, keeps this thing moving forward, and we would greatly appreciate the support. But that is going to do it. Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. EA Sports College Football. If you missed the live stream this morning, go back, check that out. Also, a great interview with David Sanders Sunday night. But that is going to wrap it. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.